Today marks a special day for our newsroom. It was exactly 10 years ago that sports journalists Rick Bozich and Eric Crawford left the Courier-Journal to join our sports department.
And to mark the occasion, they're counting down the top 10 stories from their time at WDRB.
It's been enough time and a place, Rick, and you start to think back at all the stories that you've covered. And in our case, sometimes it's groups of stories or things like that. But as we kind of look back at 10 years, that's a lot of stories, a long time and a lot of stories.
Yeah, what I think about is, I go back even more to when baseball was the really big thing in this town. In I think it was 83, the Redbirds were the first minor league team to draw 1 million fans. And when I look at the last 10 years and the stories we covered, baseball's kind of been moved a little bit aside. And when you drive through downtown Louisville, the couple of things that hit you is we saw the bridges get built. Mm-hmm. And then we saw the soccer stadium get built. And to me, that's one of the top 10 stories that we've covered here is just the way that soccer stadium kind of dominates the skyline as you're driving through town. And you've got one Major League Soccer team here in Racing Louisville. And then you've got Louisville City FC, which has been phenomenally successful winning championships. And they've created a culture of soccer, especially with younger fans, being their go-to sport.
Of course, the ownership deserves a lot of credit for that. The late Wayne Estopino had this vision in the city, and others have come in, John Neese and Brad Estes and that great group that they have together with Louisville City. But it really was a function of fans. I mean, it was fans that organized. Fans raised a lot of money. Fans, they wanted a professional soccer franchise, and they worked for it over a period of years. And once somebody was willing to bring one here, they were ready and they stepped up, and it's been a love affair from day one and success from day one. They've never done worse than getting to conference finals at the number 2 level of professional soccer in Louisville. And then, of course, the women's team here is just phenomenal. It's really, to me, it seems like a big opportunity for the city if this franchise can be successful and take hold and build its attendance over the years, because they have personalities on this team that are big in women's soccer, that are known commodities. They've got young players who are playing for the women's national team. They've got an older player who played for the women's national team as part of a big HBO documentary. So they have personalities and some star power and the ability to really do big things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a vibe there. You go out there for a lot. I mean, the people paint their face, they beat the drum, they're really into it. And the other place there's a vibe now, which is coming back to life, is U of L men's basketball. And Kenny Payne has to be on the list. We both walked into the KFC Yum Center last season, and we'd look at each other and go, I can't believe this is Louisville basketball. There's nobody here. There's 2,000 people here. There's 3,000 people here. There's whatever, 5,000. It won't be that way moving forward. Kenny Payne has sort of re-energized this town.
It's very much a different vibe. And in our 10 years here, the one thing that's characterized, there's been a lot of things with men's basketball at Louisville, and we're going to talk about a lot of them. But one thing that's characterized it has been this sense of dissatisfaction from that former group of players, and there's been unrest. There's not been a good relationship between the school and a lot of those guys, and that all went away the day Kenny Payne showed up. And it was very much a healing thing, I think, for fan bases of the Denny Crum era and the Rick Pitino eras and new and old. And I think all of that's come together. He's still got to win, but I don't think it's recency bias to say that Kenny Payne is one of the biggest things that we've covered in the last 10 years, just because of the groundswell of support. And it's not just about basketball either.
Absolutely, it's a sense of family. And we saw it when the AAU tournament was here. Junior Bridgman, Russ Smith, guys who played from different eras, all being out there, Wade Houston, together supporting Kenny Payne and trying to convince young guys this is a place to come. And we saw it at Josh Hurd's introductory press conference. Daryl Griffith showed up for that, Stephen Van Treese, Ryan McMahon, Robbie Valentine, Tony Branch. I mean, those are guys from a lot of different eras, and there's a feeling, again, of unity back at U of L, and that's what we like to see.
They definitely know their stuff. Tomorrow on WDRB News, they will keep counting down their top sports stories with numbers 7 and 8.